Hi everybody, I hope you are well. Today's focus for our yoga class is wrists and scapula, shoulders. The class is more of a gentle yoga, yin type of class. Not a lot of standing, a lot of maybe more just slower paced types of poses. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a little bit different from what we've been doing for the past few weeks. And so I'll just back up to get onto my mat. And we'll focus on some alternative nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana is the Sanskrit name. And I'm going to sit on my bolster because it helps to raise my hips up just a bit more. Makes sitting a little bit more comfortable as well. So go ahead and find something comfortable to sit on. Also too is, while you're at it, the props that you'll need today are a blanket, 2 blocks and a strap. And so we'll get started. So alternative nostril breathing is just generally good for your body, good for us to breathe through our nostrils. I kind of alluded that to the class that we did last week. This particular breathing helps to calm nerves, anxiety, and a lot of other things that are said, on the internet. You can look it up. So if you were to look up alternative nostril breathing for yoga, or Nadi Shodhana, Shodhanaa. So we'll get started. So go ahead and just rest both hands on your lap for now. And then take your right hand and take your index finger and your middle finger and place that right at the third eye center. And then take your thumb and place that just on the outside of your right nostril, and then your ring finger and place that right outside of your left nostril. And I don't want you to press into your nostrils just now. Just rest your fingers on your face. Your pinky finger can be wherever it's comfortable. So just keep it relaxed. And with nostril breathing, I want you to breathe in and out slowly 5 times. So in and out, and in, out, in, out, in, out. So now we're going to close off our right nostril with our thumb. So press your thumb against your right nostril and breathe through your left nostril 5 times. Same thing that we just did. In and out. And then release your thumb, place that back onto your cheek. Take your ring finger, place that onto your left nostril, blocking that off. And then breathing through your right nostril 5 times in and out. Now release your ring finger. Place your thumb on your right nostril. Breathe in on your left. Place your ring finger on your left nostril. Release your thumb. Breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your right. Block off the right. Release the left. Breathe out through the left. In through the left. Block off the left. Open the right. Breathe out through the right. And in. Move to the left, out, and in. And to the right, out, in, to the left, out, in, to the right, out, in, and to the left, out, in. Release your hand, set it down onto your lap. Breathe in through both nostrils 5 times and out. Go ahead and open your eyes. Hope that brought some calm to you. So I'm going to push this bolster over to the side. I don't need it right now. And I'm going to grab my block. So we're going to open up our thoracic spine a little bit and our shoulders. I want you to grab your blocks, set those at the top of your mat. And then take your blanket and open it up until it's about yay big. And then fold it once lengthwise and one more time. So you have a nice thin fold in your blanket. Set that down across your mat. The top of the blanket will come to the bottom of your shoulder blades. So if you feel back, you can feel that pointy little area of your shoulder blades. You want that to come right to the top of that mat. Your shoulders will rest onto the mat. Okay, so the blanket's right at the bottom of your shoulder blades. So we'll sit with our knees bent and walk our body down on top of that blanket. Make sure it's positioned in the right place. When we get there, straighten your legs, and then your arms can go out to a T. And take a deep breath in and a full breath out. And so with yin and gentle yoga, we stay in these poses for about 30 seconds to a minute each, sometimes more. So just continue your nostril breathing, feeling your body open over the blanket. On your next exhale, bend your knees, place your feet on the mat, roll over to one side, press yourself up, And then move that blanket up just a few inches. So this time we're going to have that blanket right behind our shoulders. When we come and lay down, I want you to place your hand at the top of your shoulders and make sure you can feel the top of the blanket. Once we've established that we're there at the right position, then we'll raise our arms up and over and let our arms rest on the blocks or on the floor. Just depends on how much of an opening you already have here. So that's what we're looking for, is to open up your shoulders just a bit in this particular pose. So we'll sit with the blanket behind us, come and lay down, feel the top of our shoulders, make sure the blanket's there, straighten out our legs, and then bring your arms up and overhead. And if 2 blocks is too high for you, you can remove a block, set it over to the side, and then bring your hands down on top of that 1 block, or you can bring your hands on either side of that block. And once you arrive, establish that nice deep breathing through your nostrils, nice and slow and steady. On your next exhale, bend your knees. Bring your arms back down by your sides. Roll over to one side. Press yourself up. And then we're going to move that blanket off our mat for now. And just set it over to the side. And now grab your strap. And just set that nearby. We're not going to use it right now, but we're going to use it in a short bit. We're going to come and lay back down onto our mats. Knees are bent. Come all the way down. And then make sure you can grab a block and place that between your hands. And raise that block up and toward the ceiling. And then on an inhale, press into your feet, raising your hips up off the mat. Back up off the mat and set that block all the way back behind you. Take an exhale, lower your upper back, middle, lower, all the way down to your hips. Your block is still behind you. And then raise that block up toward the ceiling. On your next inhale, press into your feet, bringing your hips all the way up, back up. And then bring the block behind you. Press that into the floor. And then on an exhale, slowly lower down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. And then bring that block back up toward the ceiling. Inhale, hips up, back up. Bring the block behind you. Pressing it into the floor. And then on an exhale, slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae, and then bring that block back up to the ceiling. Inhale, hips up, and then block goes back. And then exhale, begin to lower down very slowly. And bring that block back up. And one more time, on an inhale, press into your feet, hips up. Block comes back. Press it into the floor. And then exhale, begin to lower down. Bring that block back up. And then set it over to the side. Good. Hug your legs in. Rock from side to side. Massage out your back by making circles on the ceiling with your knees in one direction. And then in the other direction. Good. Guide your knees in towards your armpits. Separate your legs and the bottoms of your feet so they're parallel to the ceiling. And grab the outside of your feet, or if you cannot reach those, just grab the backs of your thighs for happy baby. Come back to that nice, slow, steady breathing. Press your feet into your hands and press down with your hands, keeping your tailbone down toward the mat. On your next exhale, place your hands on the outside of your legs and press them back together. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And then roll over to one side so you can grab that strap. Place that strap underneath your right foot, just at the ball of the right foot. Straighten your left leg out onto the mat. Straighten that right leg. Keep those arms straight. Relax your shoulders down toward the mat. And squeeze your shoulder blades together so you can actually feel that action in your shoulders coming down. Nice, slow, steady breathing here. Grab both straps in your right hand. Left arm comes out to a T. Anchor that left leg down toward the mat so you can keep your hips level. Point your toes out to the right and then drop your leg over to the right. Come back to that nice, slow, steady breathing. next inhale, bring that leg back up to center. Grab both straps in your left hand. Right arm comes out to a T. Guide that leg just towards your midline, just until you begin to feel a stretch on the outside of that leg. And come back to that nice, slow, steady breathing, nice long inhales, nice long exhales. On your next inhale, bring that leg back to center, bend that knee in towards your chest. Release that strap, set it over to the side, make some circles with your leg to rotate out that hip just a little bit in one direction and then in the other direction. And then let that leg go straight out onto the mat. Take an inhale, raising arms up and overhead. Press your heels away from you. Exhale, bend your knees in towards your chest. Nice big hug. Place both feet back down onto the mat. Grab your strap. Lift your left foot up. Place that strap on the ball of your left foot. Straighten the right leg. Straighten the left leg. Arms are straight, shoulder blades together, shoulders relaxed onto the mat. Nice, slow, steady breathing. Grab both straps in your left hand. Right arm comes out to a T. Anchor your right leg down toward the mat. Keep your hips level. Turn your left toes out to the left and then drop your leg over to the left. Again, come back to that nice, slow, steady breathing. On your next inhale, bring that leg back up to center. Grab both straps in your right hand. Left arm comes out to a T. Guide that leg just over your midline just to get that little bit of a stretch on the side of your leg. Nice, slow, steady breathing. On your next inhale, bring that leg back to center. Bend that knee in towards your chest. Release that strap and set it over to the side. Make some circles with your leg, just rotating out that hip a little bit in one direction. And then pause and then move in the other direction. Straighten that leg out onto the mat, inhaling, arms up and overhead behind you. Nice big stretch. Press your heels away from you. And then an exhale, bend your knees in towards your chest. Nice big hug. And compression hug, bringing your forehead up to your knees. And then bring your feet back down onto the mat. Arms come out to a T. On an exhale, drop your legs to the right. On an inhale, bring them back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Move your hips over to the left side of your mat. Lift your feet up. Drop your legs over to the right. Gaze is over your left shoulder. Come to that nice, slow, steady breathing here. If you need to put props underneath your legs, if you can't bring them all the way down to the floor, grab a block, set that right underneath your knees. That always helps. On your next inhale, bring your legs back up to center. Press your feet into the mat. Slide your hips over to the right side of your mat. On an inhale, raise your feet up off the mat, and an exhale, drop your legs over to the left. Gaze is over your right shoulder. Nice deep breath in, full breath out. Come to that slow, steady breathing. On your next inhale, bring your legs back up to center. Press your feet into the mat, straighten out your back. Then roll over to one side and press yourself up. So we're going to grab our blocks. I'm going to place one block horizontally on the mat and the other one vertically. So the one that's vertical will go right where your shoulder blades are. The block that's horizontal will go underneath your head. So this is fish pose, or supported fish pose actually. And this helps to open up your chest, helps to open up your thoracic spine. If you want, you can always bring the block up to its medium setting versus low setting. It's entirely up to you as far as what you want for an opener. So knees are bent initially to get into this. We're going to lay on top of that vertical block first and then rest our head onto that horizontal block. So you notice for me, I've got it at a medium setting. My back's pretty arched pretty intensely. And then go ahead and straighten out your legs. Arms come out to a T. And come back to that nice, slow, steady breathing. exhale, bend your knees. Roll off of those props, coming to your side, and then press yourself up. Take those blocks. We'll just set them off our mat for now. And we'll work our neck just a little bit and our shoulders. Again, if you want to sit on top of a blanket or a bolster, do that. Sometimes it makes it a little bit more comfortable. So I'm going to grab that. Okay, so first we'll come into our namaste hands and try to bring, and press your hands really tight into each other. Press, press, press. And then begin to bring your arms down to get a nice stretch into your hands and your wrists. And then trying to keep that extension in your wrists. Bring your hands apart. And then press them back together. Press, 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 press. And begin to peel your fingers away and your hands away. Keep your fingers up toward the ceiling. Keep that bend in your wrists. And then bring them back together. And press them together. And separate them one more time. Should begin to feel that in your forearms just a little bit. And then go ahead and shake out your hands just a bit. Good. All right, so let's take our hands, interlace them behind our back, and then bring them away from our back just a bit, opening up our chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. And then look up just a bit, bringing your hands down. And then come back up, bring your knuckles back to your back, and then over to the left side. And then we're going to just make sure that our neck is nice and neutral. We're going to bend our head over toward our left shoulder, so left ear to left shoulder. Get a nice big stretch all through that neck and part of that shoulder. Nice slow breaths here. And then begin to tilt your head back up. Bring your hands back to center. Bring your hands away from your back, so we're bringing them back again like this. Opening up that chest, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Looking up just a bit, hands come down. And then bring your hands back to your back. And then over to your right hips. And then tilt your head over to the right ear to right shoulder. Get that nice stretch in the left side of your neck, left shoulder. And then on an inhale, bring your head back up. Release your arms, shake them out. Roll our shoulders back and forward. Good. And let's come to cactus arms and bring your arms together, separating those shoulder blades. And if you want a big stretch in your upper back, tip your chin down. And then on an inhale, separate your arms, bring your arms back as far as you can, hands come back, head goes up. Exhale, arms together, chin down, elbows down. Inhale, arms back, squeeze those shoulder blades together, chin up. Exhale, arms forward, chin down. Inhale, arms apart, squeeze those shoulder blades together, chin up. Good, arms come back down, roll those shoulders out in both directions. Nice. Okay, take your right arm and just bring it across your chest, and then take your left hand and bring that arm a little bit closer. You should feel a little bit of a stretch on the back side of your shoulder. Notice your shoulder blade move toward the right just a little bit more. And then we're going to keep our arm as it is. Take our left arm underneath, bend at the elbows, and then we're going to wrap our upper arms around each other, palms of our hand facing each other for eagle arms. Lift your elbows up so that they're coming right in line with your shoulders, just like that. Should feel a big stretch on the back side of where your shoulder blades are and shoulders. If you cannot come to this, you can bring your hands right to your shoulders. You should still feel a pretty good stretch. And then we're going to unwrap our arms, bring them back out. Left arm comes in front. Then bring your right arm in front of that left arm so you can bring it closer to your body. Get a nice big stretch on the back side of your left shoulder and shoulder blade. And then keeping your left arm the way it is, right arm's crossed underneath. Bend both arms at the elbows and then twist your arms around each other, the upper arms. Palms come together. Lift your elbows up so they run parallel with your shoulders. Should feel a nice stretch in your upper back area, shoulder blade area, shoulders. Again, if you cannot reach your hands, you can place your hands on your shoulders. And exhale, unwrap your arms, roll those shoulders back and forward. Good, nice. All right, so we're going to move this bolster over to the side. And straighten my legs out onto the mat. Nice big length all the way out onto the mat. Wiggle my hips from side to side. If you want, you can grab your blocks. I'll show it with the blocks. We're going to do a forward fold over our legs, but I want you to try to keep your back straight. So there's the challenge. So go ahead, walk those hips out. That gives us a little bit more ability to actually bend over and keep our back straight. And so to keep your back straight, there's a couple of things you could do. If this is as far as you can go, just place your hands on either side, and that's your stretch. If you can come a little bit further, you can rest your arms on the blocks or down a little bit more. And just breathe here. Try to keep your neck in a neutral position. Good, set those blocks over to the side. And then we're gonna remain seated on your mat. We're gonna bend our knees, place our hands right behind our bottoms, fingertips pointing toward our bottom. And then straighten out your arms. Should get a nice stretch in that forearm area. And then begin to bend your elbows just a bit so you can lift your feet. So we're gonna come to boat. We're just gonna do gentle boats at this point. So we're just gonna keep our feet up. You can straighten your legs if you wish. We're gonna leave our hands right where they're at. Bend your knees, place your feet on the mat. Hug your knees, sit up nice and straight. Nice big inhale, and then place your hands behind your back again. Straighten out those arms to get that nice stretch in your forearms. Nice stretch across your chest. And then bend your elbows just a little bit, lean back. Lift your feet. You can straighten your legs if you'd like. And then bend your knees. Come and sit back up. Hug your knees. Sit up nice and straight. Nice big hug. And then place your hands behind your back again, fingertips pointing towards your bottom. Straighten out those arms, chest comes forward, nice big stretch across your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then bend your elbows, lift your feet up. Again, you can keep your knees bent, or you can straighten your legs. It's your choice. It's your pose. Bend your knees, place your feet on the mat. Hug your knees, sit up nice and tall. Good. All right, so we're going to cross our feet and come up to tabletop. Okay, so hands are directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Tops of feet are pressed into the mat, and your back is nice and neutral. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a finger exercise. I think we did it last time in our session, and it's just to build a little bit of muscle in those forearms. So we're going to come back toward our heels. We're going to lift our index finger up, just our index finger, press the other fingers into the mat. Keeping that index finger up, come as far forward as you possibly can. And then tap, once you get to that point, tap your index finger into the mat 10 times. And then place that down onto the mat. Come back towards your heels. Lift your middle finger up. Keep that lifted, coming forward. And then tap that middle finger down into the mat 10 times. Rest that down onto the mat. Come back towards your heels again. Now we're going to lift our ring finger. Press the other fingers into the mat. Come forward, keeping that finger up. And then tap that 10 times into the mat. Come back. And then we're going to lift the little finger up off the mat. Come forward. And then tap that 10 times. Good. Come back. Shake out your hands. some circles with your hands in one direction and then in another direction. Nice. Okay, so let's come back to tabletop. And we'll come to cow, tailbones up, belly drops, shoulder blades together, head and neck comes up. Cat, tailbones down, belly presses into spine, gazes back toward your legs. Inhale for cow, tailbones up, belly drops, shoulder blades are squeezed together. Exhale for cat, tailbones down, back rounds, shoulder blades come away from each other. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. And one more time, inhaling for cow. And exhaling for cat. And then come back to tabletop. Straighten the right leg out behind you. Press back into that heel to get that nice calf stretch. On your next inhale, raise that right leg, cross it over your left, and place the ball of the foot into the floor. And then go ahead and look over your left shoulder toward those toes. You'll get a nice little stretch on the right side of your body. Continue that nice slow breathing here. On an inhale, raise that right leg up and bring that knee back down. Straighten the left leg out behind you. Press back into the ball of that foot. Press back into that heel, sorry. Get that calf stretch. And on an inhale, raise that leg up, cross it over your right, and then look over your right shoulder to get a little bit of a stretch on your left side. Nice, slow, deep breaths here. On your next inhale, raise that left leg up, bring that left knee in, and then we'll get a nice stretch on our shoulders. So we're going to take an inhale and raise our right arm up, twisting toward the right, and then take your right arm, bring it behind your left, rest your right shoulder, right ear down onto the mat. Take your left hand, it can press straight into the mat, or you can straighten out that arm in front of you, or you can wrap it all the way back behind you. Wrapping it behind you creates a little bit more weight onto that shoulder. So it's up to you. And come back to that nice steady breathing. On your next inhale, press that hand into the mat and then raise your body back up, twisting to the right, and set your right hand down. On an inhale, left arm comes all the way up, twisting toward the left. Take that left arm, place it underneath or behind your right, then bring your left shoulder down, left ear down. And then you can take your right hand, keep it into the mat, Straighten it out or wrap it behind your back. Take your right hand, place it back onto the mat. Take an inhale, pressing into your hand. Left arm comes all the way up and then back down onto the mat. Cross your ankles. Come and sit back onto the mat. Okay. Let's see. I want to make sure we've got some blocks here. Okay. So we're going to come back into tabletop. We're going to get a little stretching into our hips right now. So the blocks can be at the medium setting, low setting, or high setting. I'll start with high. Step your right foot forward and then place it on the outside of the blocks, bringing it to the outside, right side of your mat. And then slide that left foot back just a little bit. So you should feel a nice stretch in your hip flexor and maybe that quad just a little bit. And so we'll stay in this up position for now to get that stretch. And walk those blocks forward just a little bit. Come back onto that left knee and then take that right foot and come back and place the right knee onto the mat. Then step the left foot forward on the outside of the left side of the mat. Slide your right foot back. You should feel that bit of a stretch in the front of your hip flexor and quad. If you want, you can come up a little bit more to get that stretch. Begin to press into those blocks to come back toward that right knee. Bring that left knee back. Set those blocks down. And then big toes together, knees are separated. Sit back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward. Press your forehead into the mat for child's pose. And then walk your hands over to the right to get a nice stretch on your left side. And then walk your hands over to the left. Take an inhale, walk your hands back to center, and then press yourself back up to tabletop. Cross your ankles, come and sit back. And then we're going to come all the way back onto our backs. Make sure that you've got a block handy. So come and lay down, knees are bent. Take your left ankle, cross it on top of your right knee. And then keeping your tailbone down onto the mat, raise your legs up. You should feel a nice stretch in your hips. On an exhale, bring your right foot back down onto the mat. Uncross your ankle, cross your right ankle on top of your left knee. Hug your legs in, keeping your tailbone down onto the mat. On an exhale, place the left foot back down onto the mat. Right foot down onto the mat. Take an inhale, raising your hips up. Grab that block. Set it right underneath your sacrum. Arms can be down by your sides right now or out to a T. Let that lower back release just a bit. And then on your next exhale, bend your knees in and raise your legs up toward the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. And then a full exhale, bending your knees in towards your chest. Place your feet onto the mat. Press your feet into the mat. Raise your hips up off the block. Set that block over to the side and then slowly lower back down onto the mat. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. And roll over to your right side, making a pillow for your head with your right arm. And take an inhale, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Placing your hands on your thighs, closing your eyes. Take an inhale, raise your arms up and overhead, palms meeting. Exhale, bringing your thumbs down to your heart center. Raising your chest up and bowing your head. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you take care of yourself with joy. May you be safe. I'm grateful that you joined me today in this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.